Well, hi folks, and welcome to a new edition of This Week in Pearl. I'm Frank Hutton, your host, and today we've got a very special show. Senator Dean Kirby is here, and he's brought a very special guest with him, the Transportation Committee Chairman Jennifer Branning. Wonderful conversation I hope that we can have with her, get to learn a little bit about her and her role as a Transportation Chairman, and a little bit about her personally. So y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on This Week in Pearl.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Welcome back to this edition of This Week in Pearl. And excitingly, we're going under the dome today where our very own Senator Dean Kirby has brought a very special guest with him today, our very own Jennifer Branning. Welcome, guys. How are y'all?
Thank you for having us. Doing well today.
I'm so excited that, Senator, you were able to bring her with her. So tell us a little bit about.
Oh, I can.
Please.
I can tell you a lot of good things about Jennifer. Well, Jennifer Branning, you're in your third term now. And actually, I asked her because she does such a good job. I thought she'd been there at least 4 terms, you know.
Just 3.
Just 3 so far.
But I mean, she has moved up the ladder so quickly to become chairman of transportation. And you actually did that in your 2nd term, didn't you?
That's correct.
So it tells you a little bit about Jennifer. She's an attorney. She's a sweet, sweet lady that is so conservative. She makes us conservatives look like we're liberal.
Like liberals. Okay.
But yeah, but she does a great job. We're just excited to have Jennifer and look forward to her.
And she serves as chairman of the Transportation Committee.
Absolutely,
right?
Chairman of Transportation, like I say, in her 2nd term. So what else could you
That's
ask
a big
for?
responsibility.
It's
That's big.
job.
I mean, that's a big job.
And I have loved it. I have loved learning about transportation. It just makes sense to me. I think we've gotten a lot of great things done the last few years. So I'm grateful to the Lieutenant Governor for giving me that responsibility.
I know, right? Because that, honestly, transportation is such a huge issue here in the state. And I think we have some wonderful people now running things. But as far as like money appropriations, that's where your committee and working hand in hand with Senator Kirby comes
That's right. And you know, transportation is something everybody is interested in. It affects everybody, regardless of party affiliation. Everybody wants good roads. Everybody wants the opportunity to get to work and to school in a timely and a safe manner. So we're all excited. Anytime we get transportation dollars back to our local communities, everybody wins. Yes.
Well, we've had some wonderful things happen in Pearl and Rankin County with Jennifer being the transportation chairman, and we can thank her for that. So we work very closely, very well together, and I'm just excited she has that position.
Well, I am too, because so much has been able to get done, you know, these last couple of years. I mean, especially the last few years, so much has gotten done, especially around here, you know, in Pearl.
That's right. We've had additional state dollars to work with, and so what we all, and Senator Kirby is a part of that, we've all determined that, you know what, transportation infrastructure is a great use of those one-time monies that we have. We have a lot of catch-up to do. There's so much growth here in the metro area, Pearl included, that we know that it's important to make sure those dollars get right here to this area. So it's been a privilege and an honor to work with those in leadership to make that happen.
Now, y'all meet on the regular, even though the Senate's not in session right now, y'all meet and discuss stuff on the regular,
Sure.
right?
There are certain meetings that happen in the summer and fall, specific to whatever topic a committee may be, you know, honed in on. So there are meetings happening right now to get ready for next session. So certainly transportation is always on everyone's mind.
I know, like as a committee, I hear Dean talking about it a lot, you know, that he's constantly meeting with the different committee chairs, talking about the requests they're going to need, because
Right.
you're so in tune with what's going on with the Mississippi Department of Transportation.
That's right.
That y'all meet a lot and talk about this, I'm sure. Right?
We do, and one thing that we've been talking about for weeks and months is how do we not only address the needs with one-time dollars, but how do we get recurring revenue as part of our funding mechanism? That's a talk that we've been having for a long, long time. How do we do it in a fiscally responsible way? And there are a couple of different ways we can do that. Several bills were filed last year. They didn't make it all the way through the process, but it has started a conversation. So I do believe that transportation infrastructure, particularly the funding of long-term needs on a recurring basis, will be one of the main topics in the 2025 session.
So what are some of those ideas that are being kicked around?
Well, certainly we have a large amount of unencumbered use tax dollars that are available. Those monies right now go into the general fund to fund other needs. But one of my ideas, and it was sort of in collaboration working with Brad White at the Department of Transportation, who does a phenomenal job, we talked about what if we grab part of those unencumbered dollars coming from the use tax and designate those specifically for either capacity work, which is when you add a lane or you build new roads, or maintenance, which is something that's certainly ongoing throughout the process. So those are just a couple of ideas that we have had. Certainly there are other ideas, and we're open to any and all, but you will see that being one of the main topics of discussion, I believe, next session.
Going into the next session. Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that sounds great. Now, we had mentioned kind of before we started this interview that there's some ARPA funds.
Correct.
Because you mentioned maintenance here. So
that's right.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I'm not sure that we know. Mr. Pro Tem has indicated we're not sure the exact number, right, in ARPA.
Yeah, well, we don't know the number yet because we're not sure. We're waiting on DFA to give us the number.
Gotcha.
And the bill that we passed, the ARPA money that we had not designated out to someone, then that will go to maintenance of the highways. And so we're waiting to see, and I think it's going to be a large amount.
And that'd be like a one time, right?
It will.
It's a big lump sum. It's a lump sum of money.
It is, but what happens, see, MDOT works off of what we call a 5-year plan. That plan consists of various parts to it. Capacity is one part, maintenance is one part, then you have the paving and rehabilitation. When they have an infusion of one-time money, what that helps them to do is move ahead on their schedule. So depending on how much money we have available to give them in the ARPA funds, we may be able to put them 1 or 2 years ahead of schedule on maintenance. That frees up those dollars to go do other projects that are needed. So it's a win for everyone. We're very excited about that.
And we had Mr. White here not too long ago talking about the Department of Transportation. It was a great conversation.
Yes.
And he talked about being able to go to Washington, getting some of these funds, having kind of that inside track. I thought that was great for our state.
It's wonderful, and I think one thing that we've done really well in the legislature the past 2 to 3 years, we have given the Department of Transportation flexibility in their plan. And so when we've given them additional dollars to spend, we have not earmarked projects. We've just put it toward the 5-year plan, and that gives Brad and his team the ability to apply for federal dollars, to draw down the federal dollar to whatever project it matches, and so we can continue to spend money on infrastructure when it's available.
That sounds like some common sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that really does sound like common sense.
But for years and years, it wasn't done that way. But we have found a way to do that in a way that makes sense. It's fiscally responsible, and we've been very pleased with the results.
I'm just not here necessarily to toot his horn, but do you think that's because we have really good leadership at MDOT?
I do.
That you're able to kind of give them more responsibility and decide how they want to do things.
Yes, and there's been an open line of communication between the legislature, MDOT, all the commissioners. That has taken a lot of work to get us to that point, but it's been very good. It's good for the taxpayer to know that we're talking about what the needs are, and then we're trying to find common sense solutions. It's been really good.
Right, and I applaud Dean especially for that, because
he's been a very big part of that.
Been a very big part of that communication that you're talking about, allowing that to happen and bringing everybody to the table.
Right.
And I think that's very important.
Well, I'd like to give all the credit to Jennifer, but actually Willie Simmons has done a really good job for us over here. And Brad White, which has been on this show, Brad's unbelievable. He works with us so well.
Right, and the commissioners have been fantastic.
They have.
Because, everybody's trying to work together to solve the problems in Mississippi?
We all have the same goal in mind. That is to improve Mississippi infrastructure. We may have a little difference of opinion about how you get there, but the end game is all the same. But we've done a very good job of communicating, collaborating, and the results speak for themselves.
So, yes, and they do. And this is, like you said, you're serving now your third term.
Right.
But as Senator Kirby points out, you got this transportation job in your second term.
That's true.
And so you got it quick. So I would say that you earned it, as he said.
Well, to tell you how quickly she has worked up in the Senate, actually, you had a committee before this one. You had the elections committee, if I'm correct.
That's true.
So, I mean, did you get that your first? No,
that was the first year of the second term.
Right, and then we had a opening for
That's
transportation
right.
chairman.
I think it was
and vice chair of forestry.
the first time. Now I'm vice chair of government structure.
Now you're vice
and then
right.
I did the vice chairmanship for the Judiciary A for a couple of years, which is, again, a very busy committee, so we did a lot of great things on that committee. I like to be busy, as you can tell.
Apparently.
I like to work. I enjoy it. But no, it's been good. But it has been a group effort for sure. We have a lot of great members on the leadership team and staff, so it's been good.
Well, for people who don't know a whole lot about you, I just wanted for people to know that you can go to a website. I'll share that soon.
Sure.
But you are from Neshoba.
Born and raised in Neshoba County. My husband, Chancey, and I live there with our three boys, Ethan, Ellis, and Evan.
Ethan, Ellis, and Evan.
That was not my idea to name them with all
right, so,
That's right.
So now you're going to have to dish a little bit. How did we
Yes.
get Ethan, Ellis, and Evan?
My husband, he wanted to name them all with ease, but of course I'm the mom, and when I'm trying to maybe correct someone in the home, I have to call the roll before I get to the right name. I think that's a mom thing, but it's okay.
That's so fun.
Right.
I mean, so how do you Okay, so tell me, how do you differentiate between everybody?
Well, our oldest, Ethan, he's 21. He is a student at Mississippi State University.
Okay.
They all have such different personalities.
Do they?
They do. Our 19-year-old, he is a student at East Central Community College.
Okay.
The 13-year-old, he is just living his best life. He's an 8th grader at Pine Grove Christian Academy.
Okay. And he's the baby, so he's spoiled rotten.
He is rotten. He is. But you know, my home is sort of the hangout.
Sure.
All of their friends like to come over, and I
Okay.
like it that way. So we're a busy place on the weekends.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, you're also a state graduate, I understand.
That's right. Mississippi State University.
And a law graduate.
Mississippi College School of
Mississippi
Law.
College School
That's
of Law.
right.
So my team's done their homework. They
see that.
They brought me up a little bit to speed with you, but the background that you have has
Yes.
lent itself well to, I think, what you're doing in the legislature. Right?
Sure. Well, so I've been practicing law for 20 years
Right.
now, kind of a small town law practice, but I represent small business owners. We've done a lot of child advocacy work through the court system and a lot of chancery court work. That's helped me through the vice chairmanship of Judiciary A. But really one of my main focuses as a legislator has been to protect our God-given fundamental rights and cut red tape in government where we could. And so over time we've been very successful in doing that for small businesses, those in manufacturing, and then farmers. I represent a lot of farmers in my law practice, and I live in a very rural part of Neshoba County. I tell people I have a poultry farmer on one side, a cattle farmer on the other, and that's the way I like it. So I get the struggles that the Mississippi farmer has. So I've worked closely with Farm Bureau on a lot of their issues over the last 3 terms as well.
Well, that's exactly where I was going, and I appreciate you answered that. Was my question to you, because your background lends itself to the working families of Mississippi. Since we are an agricultural state,
We are.
You come from an agricultural county.
I do.
But you also understand the needs of Mississippians, not just
That's
here
right.
in Pearl, but
Right.
outside of there because of your background. And then having that law degree and practicing law.
Yes.
That's where I was going to get you to expand upon, and you just did. That's great.
I think it's been helpful though in
Yeah.
the transportation world, because I know that farmers, one of their struggles has been over time is getting their crop to market.
Right.
If you don't have good infrastructure, then their jobs are so much harder than what they already are.
Drives cost up.
It does.
Product will get destroyed.
Well, one
Yes.
bridge
Right.
One bridge.
One bridge.
can cause farmers all kind of chaos.
And so we were able to establish the Emergency Road and Bridge Program, which helps those in the rural communities to apply for the projects, helps the counties and cities apply for those roads and bridges that they cannot afford to fix. So we, at the state level, have been mindful of rural infrastructure in that regard. But I do think my background has helped me understand those needs.
Exactly, because where you're coming from, and you mentioned the counties. You know, there'll be, because not every road is a state road.
That's right.
There's plenty of county roads or city roads and a lot of county bridges.
That's
that
right.
are old, that need to be replaced or failing for some reason. They
Sure.
just need maintenance, that the money's not there. And you're talking about that's where they can go.
That's right. And so the next round of those awards we expect to come out in the next few days to determine what projects will be awarded. But that has been a game changer for our local communities. We certainly haven't solved all the problems. There's
Right.
still projects that need to be funded, but we've certainly made a big dent in that since 2018 when the fund was established.
How do y'all determine who's eligible? What is our criteria?
So there is a board that's made of business leaders, and MDOT assists with that. They look at only the criteria. It's sort of a blind scoring process. They look at the needs. They look at maybe economic development impact. They look at safety, a whole host of reasons why certain projects should be funded. And so it's a difficult task to have so many applications and then only a certain pot of money to work with every year. But I think they do a great job at MDOT of choosing the most critical projects.
Do you go to MDOT much? Do you go over there
Sure,
and see
during
them?
session I do.
I mean, outside of the session, do you just go in and pop in and say
So,
hi and
sure.
check on things? I mean, just curious.
So Brad White has been great in allowing me to come over and just bug him with
That's what I was-
questions
right.
as I'm learning about the budget side of what they do, because it's really a complicated process. It's really a federal program that's
Right.
sort of run through the state, if you will,
Right.
and so it's taken me a while to get my hands around how that works. So yes, I've
a-
spent time there.
Very good open line of communication.
Absolutely.
So where do you find time? Where do you find time?
With 3 kids,
With, right,
And a
with
husband.
3 kids, a husband,
a business,
a law practice.
and a son.
There's a movie called Multiplicity. Did they make that about you?
They did not. Thank you. That's very flattering.
How do you find time?
Well, prioritizing appropriately is key. I tell people I'm a woman of faith, family, and freedom in that order.
Right.
I have learned to put my faith and put God first and make sure my family is a close second, and all of the rest of the things fall into place.
That's very true. I'm a big advocate of that. I always say God puts you where He wants you,
He does.
when He wants you there. And of course, you go through all the things in life to prepare you for that moment.
That's right.
And then you go through those things to prepare you for the next moment, and you just may not know. And so I totally agree with you, and I believe that that's true. Because I
Yes.
say that God puts you where He wants you.
He does.
And then you either excel there listening to Him and doing what He wants, or you don't.
That's right.
But you are where you're supposed to be.
I think so.
Yes, but that's amazing that you managed to juggle all of that.
Well, I'm a hard worker. I like to stay busy. I tell people I operate better at 100 miles an hour. That's just the way it is.
Some people just operate better at a certain stress level. They're just cut out for that. There's some people that can't and some people that can.
Right.
But I see that. I guess I see that in you.
Perhaps. That's just the way I'm
There's a
geared.
lot of energy,
But-
like Delbert Hoseman.
Right.
Yes.
But you have such a pleasing personality. It seems like you could just get along with anybody.
Thank you. Well, I try. I certainly try.
She does. Everyone likes Jennifer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just pop in on Brad over there and just say, hey, let's have some coffee and
He's always happy to have
and
me.
talk about it, and you just surprise him and show up, or do you call first?
I normally call first. I try to mind my manners and
Do
call
you?
first. But he's always so patient and happy to, again, repeat for me what he's
Yeah.
probably already told me about
Right.
whatever question I have. But they've been great at MDOT to help educate me.
To help educate you
Yes.
over there. All right. So, how often do you get home?
Oh, I
Like
go home.
to home place, and just be home and be mom and be wife. How often do you get to do that?
Well, I've made it a point since I began serving in the legislature to go home every night. And Senator Kirby can tell you there are events that happen when we're in session in the after hours. Occasionally I'll be able to attend, but more times than not, when my work is complete at the Capitol, I go home to
You
family.
leave.
It's
Yeah.
important. I make sure that my work is done, but then I'm there for family, and they're always happy to receive me. But it's very difficult. We work a lot of late hours when we're in session.
Especially
We
in
do.
session.
We do.
So she's driving home early in the morning sometimes.
Sure, just to
Right.
turn around and come by.
Turn around and
Right.
come back.
I mean, that's not a small drive.
No, but I try to make my time productive. I return phone calls and and
Yeah, wasting
clients,
time,
you know, in the law
sure.
practice need me. So
Right.
we make it work, though. It's been a tremendous experience.
You're just
It is
amazing.
about an hour and-
or do you have like an S underneath that shirt, like like Wonder Woman?
My
I mean-
husband says I do, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
right. Now, what does your husband do?
So he's a real estate broker,
Okay.
and he is on staff at the law practice. He manages all of the real estate abstracting that we do. We actually have the law practice, and then we have a title company, a real estate title company.
Oh, okay.
So we
he
have a few
manages-
irons in the fire.
Oh my gosh! So he's just as busy.
Yeah,
So he has
He
a
is.
lot going on. So y'all try to schedule. Hey, we're going to meet at home at this time.
that's right. See you at home for dinner.
See you at home for dinner. Who
Right,
cooks?
I do. I love to cook.
Who grocery shops?
I do.
Really?
That's right. I do. He usually helps me, but I have to say that.
When does she do this?
So, yeah, Wonder Woman,
Yes.
I guess.
Wonder Woman. I mean, when do you do
That's
that?
one of the things that I like to do to relax is cook for my family and my kids' friends. That's my downtime.
So
Just
hanging
being
out
in
with
the kitchen.
Hanging out in the kitchen.
Yes.
So is the kitchen at the house the hangout place?
It is the
Is
hangout
that,
place.
Is that where everybody just
We
kinda
have a bar and
congregates
everybody congregates.
around
and we,
that, talk while you cook?
Yes.
Everybody wants mom's cooking. Is
They
that
do. And my boys know that if they want to remain on my good side, they've got to be at my table for Sunday lunch.
And you better like it.
And you better like it. And they do. And they do. We've made that a priority at home.
You have to be there.
You have to be there, no question. And
No.
bring someone with you.
Well, that's fun. So what was on the menu this past Sunday?
So this past Sunday, I did a roast with vegetables and mashed potatoes and gravy and all kind of fixings there.
Making me
I
hungry.
know, right?
And then we've also done a lot of
Well,
grilling
it's-
this weekend.
It's so cool, just we see, you guys running for for office, and then you're in office and you get asked all these questions about what you do and what we covered earlier just a minute ago about we never really get to know you.
Right.
You never get to know the
You
person.
don't get to know the person that's
That's right.
behind all of
Right.
that. And I think it's more enjoyable to find out, hey, what'd you fix for dinner the other day? That's so relatable.
It is. I'm
know?
just a working mom
Right.
trying to do my part to make Mississippi the best place it can be. So I'm just a real person.
Well, now let me ask you, do you also help with homework?
I do, of course.
Wonder Woman,
things.
Wonder
Yes.
Woman, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I have two in college. At this point, they're pretty
Right,
much on
yeah.
their
They're
own. But our
kinda-
8th grader has to have a little bump now and then.
Sure, right. Does Dad help with that?
He does.
Like a size 10 or something?
He does. Yeah. He does. But I have to check that Dad did his part with homework too, you know.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, because I know with my boys, because I had boys as well, and my help with homework was usually my foot.
Right.
Yeah, that usually kind of motivated them.
It does. It's a great motivator.
great motivator. Works
Yes.
really well.
It does.
But it's great to just kind of get some personality
Yes.
and understand that you're not just an MBA grad, you're not just
Oh,
a
no.
lawyer, you're not just a senator, you're a mom and a wife,
That's right.
and you cook roast and potatoes and
I do.
and that's fun. But I guess where I'm going with all of that.
You forgot to say how active she is in her church as well.
I was going to say. All right,
Yes,
since you
that's
bring
a
it
big
up,
part of
where
it.
are you a member?
So Pine Grove Church
Okay.
in the community of Walnut Grove.
I know where that is.
We have about 700 members, and our ladies department runs around 150 ladies.
Wonderful.
And up until the last few months, I've been the head of that ladies department, where every Sunday we feed the crowd. We have 2 services on Sunday, and we prepare a lunch in between to make sure our guests come and they feel welcome. I've been given a little relief since I'm on the campaign trail, but I'm still very actively involved in that ladies department because, again, one of my priorities is faith. We've got to put those,
Have to
in
put
my
that
opinion,
first. Have to
those
put that-
responsibilities come first.
Sure.
They do.
Right,
So that's a big part of my life as well.
right, and it's still going to be,
Yes.
regardless of where your future takes you.
Regardless, that's right.
And definitely you can tell that you're grounded in that, because I don't know how else you could do all this other.
There's no way.
What
Would
do you
not
do
be
for
possible.
fun?
So hanging
What's
out
fun-
with the
what's fun?
family, reading a book on the back porch. I did this for about 15 minutes this weekend. I had a book on the back porch in the rocking chair. It was quiet, the birds were singing, and that was just sort of my quiet time. That's fun to me.
What's the book?
So, How to Win Friends and
Influence
Influence
People.
People. And I've read it 100 times, but why not one more?
Why not one more
Yeah.
time? I know that's a must read.
It's a must read.
So who's your favorite author?
Oh, I have a lot of them. I
Okay,
like
pick-
John Grisham.
You like John Grisham? I'm
I'm-
a Mississippi person.
I love that.
And you're a state grad.
I'm a state grad. That's right. It's okay.
That's okay. I'm Ole Miss. It's all right.
Yeah. We can still be friends.
We can still be friends. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's fun. But so John Grissom's one of your favorites.
I think he's one of my favorites. I truly do.
So you get to spend a few minutes just unwinding.
Yes.
That's your time.
That's my time.
Nobody bothers you.
Right.
Okay. I could see that'd be fun. So
Just quiet.
you mentioned campaign trail.
Right.
Campaign trail.
That's
You're
it.
running for something.
So I'm a candidate for the Mississippi Supreme Court,
How?
District
How do
1.
you fit all this in?
You know?
She's amazing.
You're true. I mean, you have an extensive background. It's amazing what all you've accomplished, and I applaud you.
Thank
but you
you.
are running for Supreme Court.
I am. You know, I mentioned earlier faith, family, freedom. That's kind of my motto and who I am. And I threw my hat in the ring to serve in the Mississippi Senate because I am just a working mom who's trying to make Mississippi the best place it can be. Put the talents that I may possess into that. Well, that's the reason I'm running for the Supreme Court. I see a need on the court, and so I'm running as a constitutional conservative to fill that role on the court. It is an 8-year term. There are 22 counties, which includes the metro area, in that court district. So the election is November the 5th.
Yes, it's right around the corner.
Right around the
Have
corner.
you made it to all the counties?
I'm doing my best. Doing my best.
22 counties, that's a lot to hit.
It's a big district, but you know, it's been great. People have just received us so well. But we're working hard.
Right, and I wish you all the best on
Thank
that.
you.
So
She's a constitutional attorney that's compassionate
I'm fixing to say you can tell the compassion.
and very conservative at the same time.
At the same time, I mean, the roots to which you come from and what you describe only lends itself to that. How could you be anything else?
Well, you know, what we need on the Mississippi Supreme Court are justices that are willing to just be fair and impartial, and as my boys like to say, call balls and strikes
Right.
and not rewrite the rules
And
of the
not
game.
rewrite the rules
That's
during
right.
the game.
During the
Exactly.
game, that's right.
Right. I totally 100% agree. But you also mentioned about why you ran for Senate. Tell people why you ran for Senate in the first place.
So as an attorney, early in my practice, I sort of kept up with politics. I can't say I was deeply involved, but like a lot of people, I had my list of things I wanted to see different and better in Mississippi. But I'm a doer, I'm a worker,
Right.
as you know,
Yeah.
and I try not to complain that much. So instead of continuing to complain about that list, I threw my hat in the ring. I said, you know what, I'm going to get in here and see what I can do to make Mississippi better. And that sounds sort of like a cheesy talking point, but I'm very passionate about that. I got tired of seeing young people have to leave the state for lack of opportunity. And as a boy mom times 3, I want to make sure my boys have the opportunity to live, work, and raise their families in Mississippi right next to their mom. That's my goal.
Right, you're going, right.
That's my goal.
And that makes a lot of sense because instead of just talking about it, you decided to do something.
Put words to action.
Right. And we need more people to do that.
Well,
We really do.
thank you.
But I applaud you for doing that. I applaud you for everything
Thank
that you've
you.
accomplished so far. And I wish you nothing but the best running for the Supreme
I
Court.
appreciate
and
that.
that's the district,
District 1, commonly referred to as the Central
the
District.
central district, right?
Yes.
Right.
And if she's half as effective, which she will be as a
Oh my
Supreme
gosh.
Court justice, as she's been as a senator, she's going to be great.
There's no stopping
you.
her.
And no stopping.
I appreciate that.
So
Thank
they
you.
can-
I'm sitting here trying to think of any bill and she's presented several bills, and I don't remember a single bill that has failed that you've handled at the podium.
Not
No.
one?
No,
not
not
one.
one.
Not one.
And she does a lot.
Wow.
Mm.
She
Not
does her
one.
homework
I try
before
to
she
do-
goes to the podium is the one.
That's key. It's being prepared.
Yes, of course.
Being prepared when something is presented, and then talking to colleagues, people that have to vote on the bill, the other senators, learning to communicate and collaborate, even with people that we may not agree on the issue, can at least come to terms. So that's been the way we've handled it. So it's been good.
But that's phenomenal. Not a single one. That's
Not
incredible.
a single one.
It
That's
really
incredible.
is.
That's incredible.
Thank
Because
you.
I've heard about how that works down there, the intricacies of all of that, and your career to navigate that so quickly, and then not a single bill you've handled has failed. Wow,
I guess I haven't thought about it, but you're right. Not a
That's-
single one.
that's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
That's
really.
divine.
Yeah, I mean,
Must-
I've got a pretty good percentage, but I actually reached in my pocket and got a white handkerchief and waved it
And
one
waved
time
it
saying,
before.
okay, I see that I'm not going to make it
I'm
on
not going to get this,
Right.
but
this year.
so there's no quitting. There's no quit in you.
No quit.
No quit.
None whatsoever.
So how can people find out more about you?
www.jenniferbranning.com is the website. We'd love to have anyone reach out and visit the website. I'm also on Facebook.
Okay. Same.
Jennifer Burridge Branning on Facebook. Right.
And they can find out all about you.
All about me, the campaign stops we make, everything we're doing. We post it on social media so people can see how hard we're working, because we're out every single day.
Wow. Thank you for bringing her.
Oh yeah, and look, she is working Rankin County very hard, let me tell you, and I'm excited that she's here.
I'm just glad I get to know her a little bit more. I feel like I actually know you now.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been fun.
And the carrots and all of that.
I have to have you over.
Maybe hungry.
I can taste all of that. It's just fantastic.
I'll have you over with the boys.
That sounds
I haven't asked you this, but what time did you get up this morning?
5:30.
That's what I
Yes. I slept in a little, actually.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
You slept in?
I slept in a little.
She slept in. Oh,
Yes.
wow.
That's fun.
it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For coming and talking to us a little bit today. It's been fantastic having you. Thank you, Senator, for bringing her in.
It's my honor.
It's fantastic having you. So thank you again. So we're going to step away for just a second, but when we come back, we're going to talk about everything that's going on this week in Pearl. Be right back.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Welcome back to This Week in Pearl. Fantastic conversation we just had with Jennifer Branning and Dean Kirby. It was wonderful getting to know her, just getting to know her outside of just being a senator, but understanding her thoughts and how raising kids and being a mom and a wife and even what she cooks on Sunday. It was a fantastic conversation. Really enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Senator Kirby, for bringing her, and thank you, Senator Branning, for being here. We appreciate that so very much. All right, so what do we have coming up this week in Pearl? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, this Friday, Pearl's going to travel to Warren Central, where they're going to play the Warren Central Vikings. That game starts at 7, kickoff. Gates are going to open at 5 there, so be sure and travel over to Warren Central. It's not that far away. Just take a short drive, be over there to support our Pearl Pirates as they play. Also, the special election is over. Yes, finally that is over after we had the runoff. And congratulations to David Stovall. He is now our Alderman at Large. I believe he's going to be sworn in this week, so congratulations to him. Also, a couple other quick things just to mention. The booths for Trick or Treat Street and Christmas Parade, those applications are online right now. So be sure and go online to cityofpearl.com and click on the city event in that drop-down menu, and you will see the applications there for both the Trick or Treat Street booth and the Christmas Parade float. So make sure you fill those out, because those fill up very quickly. Also, over at Senior Services, they're having a sip and paint. It is not specifically for seniors. It's for everybody. It's open to everyone. That is September 19th at 6:30 p.m. It is a BYOB event. They're going to provide all the painting materials that you need. You must be 21 years and older to attend, because there is a BYOB and alcohol policy there. But tickets are $30. Reach out to the Senior Center, 601-932-3505 to get your tickets for that. So that is a sip and paint, September 19th, 6:30 p.m. Also, coming up in September the 21st at 6:30 p.m. is Junior High Night Out. So that's going to be held at this community center in the Gold Room for junior high students. It's a free event for junior high. The movie they're going to show is If by Paramount, and security is going to be provided so that they will be safe. So the junior high night out on September 21st, 6:30 p.m. So look forward to that, and get your junior high kids there, because I'm sure they'll have a blast hanging out with their friends and watching that movie. I want to thank everybody that helped us get this show together this week. Thank you again to Senator Dean Kirby for bringing in Jennifer. Fantastic conversation. But until next week, y'all have a great day.